Okay, hi everyone. This is just Drew. Got another video for you for new players, and I'm going to show you a couple of bits of kit. So we've got to my right, we've got the construction vehicle, and to my left, we've got what's called a garrison building. Now, normally when you're building things, you can just use your hammer, and if you try and do that with your hammer on a construction on a garrison house, it doesn't work. Okay, so there are some things in the game that you need a bigger construction item for, and that's where the construction vehicle comes in. Now, the eagle-eyed amongst you would notice that if you click your B button whilst you've got your hammer enabled, you can actually create construction vehicles. They're not that difficult to create. The only limitation is that you've got to be near a town hall that you own, so you do need to be close to a town hall. Now, we've actually got one here already in Bryan Glen, so we can use that quite happily. Now, so I just get rid of my build menu. Okay, so the construction vehicle, it's a two-man vehicle, a driver and a constructor or the builder. Once again, in the game tries to make it that you can't do well. It tries to encourage teamwork, and this is so with the construction vehicle. Okay, so me and Banksy are going to take this construction vehicle over towards the garrison house. But before I do that, just let me tell you what the garrison house is. So garrison house is, once you've rebuilt it, it acts like a super foxhole, basically. It fires. It's automated, firing out the sides of doors and windows in all directions. Now it has to be
And
linked.
Cinnamon's gonna demonstrate it.
Yeah. Once we've built it,
I will happily die for no reason.
Yeah, we'll get Cinnamon to run past it and so you can see what actually happens. So the thing is though, it needs to be linked to the supply node network, which is, there's tunnels which we've got here. We've got one right in front of us, so that's not a problem. The other thing is that in the previous video where we talked about the foxholes, you could suppress foxholes if you remember with small arms fire. With these garrison buildings, you cannot suppress them. Even with HMGs or SMGs, you can't suppress it. The only way to really take one of these things down would be through the use of smoke to advance on it, throw some HEs or satchel charges, or possibly even take it out with a mortar or artillery shell. So there's different ways of doing it, but you can't suppress these things. So I'm surprised that they don't get built more often within towns, like Bryan Glen. But let's get it going. Banksy, do you want to do the constructing?
Will do. Now, does this need B-mats and stuff in it?
Yeah, it's already got B-mats in it. Okay, so whilst Banksy's doing that, I'll show you the inventory inside the construction bit. So you can see the basic mats going down. You can also see you need fuel for this thing, obviously. Something like this, I think takes about 200 B mats. Is that right, Banksy? What's it saying?
Yeah, it's 200.
Yeah, okay. So, and what you'll also notice is that the graphic has changed. The roof is on, and it's all repaired. Now, I believe if you've got two CVs, two construction vehicles, they can both repair the same thing at once. Let's get out of the way. Yeah, so Cinnamon needs to watch himself now, because as soon as this gets live, it'll start shooting at him. Okay, fantastic. So,
Oh man, they're shooting our truck.
Okay, so that's a good example.
We're gonna lose all the B-mats in there.
Can you get in?
Oh, you might want to move, man. You might want to move. Oh gosh.
Okay, well,
Well, Cinnamon's gonna drive by in a second, so you might want to get out of the way, Drew,
yeah,
just so you can
yeah.
see
If you
it.
just wanted to stop him for a sec, I just wanted to explain why that happened. So, the reason why that happened was because Cinnamon probably drove the truck here, so it was recorded. It was down as an enemy truck. So that that was a good example, really, of how these particular automated defenses actually operate. So anything in its zone of control, it'll give it a blast. Right, okay, so let's have Cinnamon go past it. It'll probably catch him with 1 or 2 rounds, but let's have him running around the building. Let's see how long he lasts. You can actually get inside it as well, Banks, if you. So as you can imagine, if we've got enemy troops coming over the bridge, this thing is pretty lethal. If it had a couple of foxholes in front of it, this thing would be difficult to get rid of. Also, in these things as well, if you get inside and you've got a HMG, you can settle the HMG against these windows and stuff like that. There you go.
These things are lethal.
Yeah, so for 200 BMATs, I think that's more effective than 2 foxholes. Admittedly, you need the construction vehicle to be around, but for 200 BMATs, that's a pretty awesome kind of defensive capability. I think hopefully we'll see more people building these things because I think they are worthwhile, the BMATs. Okay, that's garrison buildings and construction vehicles. Just one other thing to add about construction vehicles is you use them to rebuild the town hall as well, um, and other strategic
Can you
buildings
use them
like
to build
effort bridge.
regular, like emplacements such as foxholes and stuff?
No, no, they're used for buildings. So buildings such as the town hall and the garrison, obviously, but also hospitals, weapons factories, workshops, supply factories as well, manufacturing plants. They all need to be built. In the early part of the game, you'll see a lot of construction vehicles around the main base. People will create these and go around and build the buildings that we kind of take for granted later in the game. He's back. Let's see if he go on, Cinnamon. Yeah, you see, lethal. I've got. Yeah.
And they're still shooting him.
Yeah, unforgiving. An unforgiving garrison building. Okay, that's the power of them. Okay, guys, thanks for watching. This is just Drew signing out. Okay, just a little late addition to the garrison building video. You can see here that Cinnamon's actually made it to the building. Now, this is useful to see because actually the automated firing points are out of the windows and the door. So if you are advancing on one of these things, if you can get close to it, you're out of the firing arcs in a similar way to pillboxes. So bear that in mind. So you can get close to these things. So satchel charges are a possibility. Cheers, Simon. Well done. If you want to step out and give everyone a bow, that'd be good. Whoa, shit!
You haven't killed me yet!
He's down. Okay. Cheers, guys. Just Drew signing out.